Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kayla. Today we are going to be talking all about starting an embroidery business in 2025. I know that there are so many videos talking about how to start a home embroidery business, how to start this, how to start that. I'm hoping I can make mine a little bit different because I do have a few different opinions, switching some things around. So I hope you guys find this video informative on how to start your own embroidery business. Now, as you guys know, I do have a custom apparel business that I run from my home, and it definitely comes with its challenges. There are definitely things I wish I would have done differently. So this is just my personal advice on how to do this if I were to start from scratch all over again. So this is coming from the perspective of you don't have a machine yet, you're still in the research phase, you're still in the business planning phase. This is step by step what I would do if I was starting my business all over again for 2025. So disclaimer real quick, it is very, very windy here where I live. So you're gonna see like the flashing, from the tree over here. You're probably gonna hear it. I have a window right here. I'm sorry, I still wanted to get this video out, so we're just gonna have to bear with the wind, okay? So hopefully it doesn't come across too loud on camera, but it is very windy here today, so hopefully it's not a problem. But like I said, this is assuming you don't have an embroidery machine yet. If you do and you're still, building your business in the beginning phases, this is still gonna be informative. You're just gonna do things a little bit different. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we are going to figure out who our customer is. We're not gonna buy our machine and then figure it out. We're gonna work backwards in a sense and figure out who we wanna sell to first before we invest in a machine. Because figuring out who our target customer is going to eliminate things like buying the wrong machine or buying too small of a machine or wasting money and wasting time, okay? We know that time is money. So we wanna do as much groundwork as possible before we buy the machine, because the second you make that phone call, the second you sign that loan or whatever it is, you are on the clock to start making money to make those payments to pay off your machine and invest in your business. So as much as you can do before you make that big purchase, the better, okay? Trust me. I've done it the other way where it's like, oh crap, now I have a $200 a month payment. How am I gonna do this? And you're scrambling, with your head barely above water, trying to figure out how you're gonna make these payments, trying to just throw spaghetti at the wall almost, trying to sell anything and everything that everybody else is, and it doesn't work. That's not smart business. So we're gonna do some footwork before we buy the machine, okay? Are you going to sell business to business? Which is also known as B2B? Are you gonna sell B2C, business to customer? Do you want to be a wholesaler? Do you want to have an Etsy shop? Do you want to be in a specific category like only weddings? So figure out who you want to sell to. So let's say in this instance, you want to sell to local businesses in your community like I do right now. Okay, so you're going to be a B2B, a business to business. So the next step you're gonna do is figure out how are you gonna market to those customers? How are you going to market your product? How are you gonna get your name out there? How are you going to get that customer to choose you? This is what you need to figure out and write down and have a plan for before you buy your machine. So now that we know who we want to sell to and how we're gonna market, we need to do the actual business stuff next, okay? Every state is different. Every state's taxes are different. You need to figure out what it is for your state and what they require, okay? Are you going to be a sole proprietor or an LLC? What is your business name going to be? How are you going to market and brand your business? Are all of your socials available? Because that is a big, big deal with branding and marketing. So if you think of a business name, you need to go on Instagram, Facebook, Google, all of the things, type in that name and see if it's even available. And then you need to see what you need to do. Like in my county, I had to pay $25 to do a fictitious firm name or a DBA as Stitch Envy because I am a sole proprietor. So I did Kayla Creasy doing business as Stitch Envy. That's mine, okay? So you need to figure out your county, state, all of that stuff. figure that out beforehand, okay? There's so many videos for like Etsy of like, do I need a business license for Etsy? No, for Etsy, you technically don't have to start a shop, but your state is probably going to require it. Like here in Nevada, you cannot do one single sale for a single penny without being a registered business. Every state is different on what they require or how much. I only know my personal state, so I can't advise you on that. That's research that you're gonna have to do. Talk to a CPA, look it up, whatever. But figure out what you have to do to be a legit business from the get-go. Don't buy the machine and then say, okay, I'm gonna do this, and then figure out all of the names that you like are taken. Or, oh shoot, it's gonna cost me an extra $200 or $300 to register my business in my state. Figure these things out first before you make the big purchase. Another thing you need to look into is business insurance. And if you live in an HOA, does your HOA allow you to run a business from your home? Okay, I don't live in an HOA. My husband and I absolutely refuse to live in an HOA, so that's not an issue for me, but maybe you do, and maybe you live in a very strict HOA and they will not allow you to run a business out of your home. That's an extra expense that you're gonna have to account for with having to have, you know, a retail space or a warehouse or whatever, okay? So these are different things that you need to look into as you are planning your business from the get-go. And like I said, you wanna do all of this first before you invest in a machine, because what happens if you invest $15,000 on an embroidery machine, you get it to your house, and HOA comes knocking on your door and says, hey, yeah, remember this rule right here? Yeah, you can't run this out of your home. And then you're stuck with a machine trying to scramble, figure out where it is that you're gonna make all your money from. Okay, so in research. I cannot tell you how many Facebook comments I've seen of, oh, I bought the machine and this happened, or I bought the machine and I can't do this, or I bought the machine and there's this rule, and blah, 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 blah. I see it all the time in Facebook groups, okay? I am not just making this up. Do your research beforehand, okay? Now, going back to like the business name and branding and all of that stuff, I am going to have a video coming out soon on how to come up with a name for your business. So I'm gonna leave that part really short and sweet right here in this video because I wanna make a whole video on that later. But just real quick, just make sure it's marketable. If you are doing, you know, a cute little Etsy shop, you can get away with, you know, a little bit more of a trendy name. But if you are doing like a local business to business, I would suggest, this is just my personal opinion, I'm sorry if you don't like it, I would suggest staying away from things like Kayla's Custom Creations or Kayla's Designs, and then, you know, spelling it wrong, designs with like a Z, or, you know, Kayla's custom with a K. Stay away from stuff like that. It's overdone, in my opinion. I would debate that it's somewhat unprofessional in a sense. Again, this is all depending on who you're selling to, okay? Think about who your target customer is, okay? Part of the reason I changed my business, if you guys don't know, my first Etsy shop started out as Two Little Poppies. Well, I had some local police officers want some stuff done, and it was like the Punisher, you know, the skull, blah, blah, whatever. Okay, what if somebody asked them where they got their stuff? You think some big biker guy is gonna be like, oh, Two Little Poppies? No, okay? Make your name marketable, make it professional, make it to where every single customer that you could possibly have isn't going to be embarrassed to say your name or anything like that, okay? Just don't make it lame, okay? I don't really know how else to say it. Just don't make it lame. Make it marketable. Make it memorable. Make it applicable to what you're doing, okay? I've explained before why I chose Stitch NV. Stitch because we embroider, NV because I'm in Nevada, NV also sounds like envy, like envious, like Stitch envious. It's marketable. Some big biker guy or a construction guy or whatever isn't gonna be embarrassed to say, oh, I got it at Stitch Envy, you know, versus Two Little Poppies, or oh, I got it from Kayla's Custom Craft Room, or, you know, I hope you understand what I'm saying. So make it an actual legit business name. So hopefully that makes sense. Like I said, I'm gonna do a much more in-depth video on how to come up with a business name. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so we have figured out who our ideal customer is, and we have done all of the proper research to figure out how to start a legit business in our area. So now we're going to research machines, okay? There are so many brands out there. There are so many types of machines out there. There are single needle machines like I started out with the PE800. There are single head multi-needle machines, as you guys see in my videos all the time. The Ricoma EM1010, the TC1501, those are the two I have. There are other brands. I obviously can't speak to those because I've only ever had Ricomas. I love my Ricomas. But do your research. I am a terrible influencer in this department. I'm never going to tell you, you have to buy this, it's gonna change your life, blah, blah, blah. Do your research. These are a big investment. They cost a lot of money, and it takes a lot of work and dedication to pay them off. So I want you to do your research on your end to see what fits best for you in the business that you want to start, okay? Now, that being said, if you choose Ricoma, I would love if you used my link down below because it helps support this channel and helps support my family. But I'm never going to tell you that you have to buy this machine. It's going to be life-changing. Your business is going to just blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to do that, okay? So do your research and figure out what works best for you. Can you only afford the, I don't even know how much they are, $800-900 PE 900, the 800 is discontinued. If that's what you can afford, then go forward based off of that machine. If you want to be somebody that just sells like the custom patches, maybe you need the, I don't even know what it's called, the machine that just does the chenille embroidery so that you can make those embroidery patches. There are people who make thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars a month just selling patches. If that's where you want to go, if that's the target customer that you have identified, then you're going to research based off of that machine, okay? And everything that you do is going to be based off of that machine, okay? Because I can't tell you how many times I've bought something like the PE800, embroidered a few things and went, okay, I want bigger. It happens all the time. It happened with my laser. I absolutely love my Thunderbolt. I adore my Thunderbolt, but now I'm like, okay, I want the big dog. And obviously, okay, yeah, maybe you do want that big chenille machine, but can you afford that big chenille embroidery machine? Can you afford the TC, or can you afford only the EM1010? These are things in the research phase that you have to look at, okay? Now, when I was looking at machines, I had to figure out, okay, what can my business afford right now? And if my business is having a bad month, what can my husband and I personally afford to cover the payments if my business has a bad month? Because it happens. Businesses ebb and flow. I can't guarantee that you're gonna have, a steady increase month over month. Sometimes it just doesn't happen. Sometimes you have a slow month, and that's definitely happened to me before. So if for some reason my business, or because I've diversified a little bit, YouTube or affiliate income, if those things can't cover my payment, can my personal finances cover it? That's just how I personally look at it. I'm not going to put myself into a hole to where it's gonna screw my family over just because I wanted this machine or anything like that. I know that business is an investment, and I know that there's gonna be a lot of people that say, oh, you have to just, finance. I'm not gonna tell you to do that, okay? I know that it's going to take some sort of investment, some sort of financing. I have, my laser finance, I'm still paying off my TC, so I get it. There's definitely things that you have to, make payments on, but I also will not tell you to screw over your family and sacrifice your family's, income just to be able to do this, okay? So mine and my husband's thing was like, if our personal finances can't cover it in case of my business not being able to cover it, then we're not going to do it, okay? That's just me personally. Take it or leave it, okay? You need to look at your own finances and see what you can afford when you're researching all of these different machines. Okay, so we've targeted our ideal customer. We have registered our business, or, you know, seen exactly what we need to do to be a legit business in our city, county, state. And we have also researched and purchased a machine. Now you're going to research all of your consumables and supplies. I can't tell you how many posts I've seen of people saying like, hey, I just bought my machine. What now? There are things that come up that you need to invest in, okay? Extra expenses. You're not just gonna get the machine and then all of a sudden have all this stuff to do, okay? You need blanks, you need supplies, you need possibly mighty hoops or 8-in-1 frames, depending on what it is that you wanna do. Okay, if you're business to business, I highly, highly, highly suggest investing in the Freestyle, the 5x5 mighty hoop stand and the 5x5 hoop. I use that nonstop for front left chest. I will not use anything else. And it's expensive. It's an investment. And that's something that you need to consider when you start your business, is all of these extra expenses. Because we want to put out a quality product, right? So these are things that you need to think of. Where are you going to source your blanks? Research where you can quickly get sweaters and hats or polos, whatever it is that you're mostly going to be doing. Where's the best place to get those at? Okay, there's wholesale sites like yeah, there's Jiffy shirts, but they don't require a wholesale license. I've recently learned that yes, technically they're wholesale. I always thought they were retail because you don't need a wholesale license to shop there. But their stuff is still marked up even more than places like Alpha Broder or S&S Activewear or Sanmar. Okay, if you have a laser business, where are you going to get your laser blanks? If you do leather patches, where are you going to source your leather? Okay, research all of these places, figure out who has the best quality, not necessarily the cheapest price, but the best quality, because we're putting out a quality product here, okay? No matter who your customer is, no matter what you're selling, we're going for top-notch quality, okay? We're not gonna buy a machine, start a business, and put out some half-baked product, okay? We are talking high quality content here, okay? We're not gonna settle for anything less, okay? Okay, are we tracking there? Perfect. You also need to research what kind of stabilizer are you going to need. If you are business to business and you're going to be doing a lot of front left chest polos, what is the best poly mesh cutaway stabilizer on the market? Where are you going to source your needles? Where are you going to get your thread? Who's going to offer the best colors? Are you going to buy cheap thread on Amazon that might possibly bleed? No. So we're going to go with high quality thread. Now, I use 65/9 needles on absolutely everything, from Richardson hats to stuffed animals to baby blankets to polos, you name it. I'm most likely using a 65/9. I might jump up to a 75/11 if I'm doing like a Carhartt jacket, but probably not. So where are you gonna get your stock of needles that you mostly use? I buy a lot of my stuff from All Stitch. I don't buy from the Madeira website. I've heard horrible things about like their astronomical shipping charges. So I buy a lot of my stuff from All Stitch, but this is research that you need to do to figure out where you're going to source your stuff. Another thing that you need to figure out is, are you going to do your own digitizing, or are you going to outsource that? That is something that I choose to outsource because I don't have time to digitize. I'm not super tech savvy. I would much rather send it out for $8 to $15 depending on what it is, get it back a day later and save that time. Okay, some people like sitting on a computer and digitizing it themselves. They like having the control, you know, the quality control, things like that. That's fine, you know, more power to you. I choose to do it differently. So is that something you're gonna learn and invest in because digitizing software is not cheap, or is that something that you're gonna outsource? And if you're gonna outsource it, research quality digitizers. We're not just gonna Google digitizers. We're not just going to post in a Facebook group, hey, who do you guys use for digitizing? You can get quality answers that way, but you're also gonna get 75 messages from out of country people saying, hi, I can do this for $5, blah, 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 blah. We're not gonna do that, okay? That's how you waste money, that's how you get scammed. I'm not saying they're all scammers, but a lot of them are. I get tons of messages daily from people offering digitizing services. I ignore every single one of them. Every single one of them. I will not answer, okay? I have a digitizer. I love the company that I go through. I very rarely have to use an edit. It's dreamdigitizing.com for those of you that are interested. There are a lot of reputable digitizers out there, but you have to do your research, okay? We're not gonna Google it, and we're not gonna go for the first person to offer $5 digitizing, okay? We're looking for quality here. We're putting out a quality product. We're gonna find the best of the best. And then also in the beginning with consumables and supplies, we're not gonna buy stuff we don't need, okay? Don't buy stuff you don't need. Don't buy a huge thing of, I don't even know, 200 sheets of cutaway stabilizer off of Amazon just to find out after using it one time that you don't like it. You don't like the quality. You don't like, you know, whatever it is about it. Okay, start small, figure out what you like, figure out what you don't like, okay? Don't go on Jiffy Shirts and buy one of every color Gildan sweater just for them to sit, okay? So be smart about buying your blanks to begin with. And this comes back to who is your ideal customer, okay? You don't need to buy a ton of stuff up front if you are a business to business, okay? Because a lot of times they know exactly what brand of polo they want or what brand of hat that they want, okay? So you don't want to go have a big stock full of hats just for them to come and want their own brand, okay? So be smart. Don't buy stuff unless you absolutely have to. Another investment in the consumable / supply category is what embroidery software are you going to use? Because whether you have an Etsy shop or your business to business or your wholesale or your just patches or whatever, you're gonna need some sort of software to read your design, to print your printout, to make edits, to do your work, okay? So are you gonna invest in Embroidery, or does your machine come with a software? Are you gonna invest in Hatch or Wilcom or whatever? I have Embroidery Essentials. It's what I started out with. I've had it forever. And then I also have Chroma Luxe. Now, I barely know how to use Chroma Luxe. I have not had the time to learn it. It's a great software, but I don't know much about it. So honestly, a lot of times I just use Embroidery Essentials because it's easy. I just need to drag and drop my design and print it out. A lot of times is what I need to do. But it's still, you know, even Embroidery Essentials, I don't know how much it is now, $100 and something. That's still an investment, even though it's, you know, not a whole lot of money compared to other embroidery softwares. That you still need to account for that as an investment, okay? So you need to add up all of these consumables and supplies that you're gonna need along with the purchase of your machine, okay? Because these are all business purchases, and we need to research and figure out what we're gonna need to start this business, okay? So the final thing on our consumable / supplies is website. Do you need a website? Do you need a host? Are you gonna do Shopify? Are you gonna do Etsy? How are you going to get your product in front of other eyes? Okay, I had to invest in a Shopify when I changed my business over from Etsy to being like the local business to business, because I needed somewhere for my customers to land. Now my website is very basic. It could use a huge overhaul, but it's still an investment that I had to make. That $30 a month for my Shopify, it's still an investment that I had to make to get somewhere for my customers to land, to see my name, to see some of my work, etc. Okay, so how are you going to do that? What is your landing page going to be for your customers? Now, a lot of my stuff is word of mouth. A lot of people don't even see my website, so sometimes I feel like it's kind of a waste of money, but it could be better, okay? That's an investment I know on my end that could be a lot better. So how are you going to advertise yourself, okay? Ads cost a lot of money, websites cost a lot of money. How are you going to do that? What are you willing to invest? Okay, so in a fun twist of events, my camera is stuck. It will not turn on, will not turn off, will not anything. So I have had to switch to using my phone. So forgive me if I'm constantly looking over here because this is like really, really different than filming with my camera. So I'm gonna try to remember to look directly at the lens and not look at myself, but it's hard when the screen's so big. So please forgive me. So we've identified our customer, we have registered our business, we have researched machines and possibly even purchased one. We have figured out what consumables and supplies we're gonna need. Now we are going to remember one of the most important things about having an embroidery business, whether it's business to business, an Etsy shop, wholesale, whatever, you are going to never, from this moment forward, stop learning, okay? This is one of the biggest aspects of owning an embroidery business. Never, I mean, any business really, never stop learning. You need to learn the basics of digitizing, even if you're not doing it yourself, even if you outsource it like I do. You need to know the basics. You need to know how a flat is supposed to stitch out. You need to know how a hat is supposed to stitch out. You need to know that a hat is supposed to stitch from the middle out, bottom up, okay? These are important things that you need to know. You need to know whether your issue is a tension issue or if it's a digitizing issue. Sometimes they're a little harder to figure out. That's, you know, one of those areas where maybe a Facebook group comes in really handy. You can ask for help. Hey, this isn't stitching right. What am I doing wrong? But never stop learning. Never assume that the machine is just going to do all of the work, because you're not just going to spend $15,000 on a machine, plug it in, and then it's just going to make you, you know, tons of money. You need to learn your machine. You need to learn tension. You need to learn what good tension looks like, what bad tension looks like, whether it's your top tension, your bottom tension, your bobbin tension. Are you using the wrong weight thread? Do you need 60 weight thread? Do you need a different type of needle? Do you need a different size needle? These are all things that you need to learn in your researching phase so that you can have a good, productive, profitable business, okay? So please, 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 if there's anything that you can take away from this video, please let it be that you are always going to be learning. Never think that you have completely mastered an area. Always be a student, okay? I think that's gonna, one, keep us humble, and two, help us have a good, legit, profitable, productive business. Okay, learn, learn, learn. Don't just assume that it's just gonna come to you, or you're just gonna, you know, it's somebody else is gonna do it for you or anything like that. You know, I keep going back to like, oh, I've seen this in Facebook groups, or I've seen this in Facebook groups, and it drives me nuts the amount of people that I see saying, hi, I have an order for 10 sweaters and I just got my machine last week. Where do I start? That's not how we're gonna conduct our business. That's not what we're gonna do, okay? We are going to know how to do it before we get our machine, okay? We're gonna watch YouTube videos. We're gonna learn different stabilizers. We're gonna learn different needles and what they do, different weight threads and what they do, okay? We are going to never stop learning. And that brings me to like our number 6, not that we were really counting, but we have identified our customer. We have registered our business. We've researched machines and possibly even purchased one. We have researched all of our consumables and supplies and figured out what we're gonna need. And then we have also understood the fact that we're never gonna stop learning, and we're gonna continue learning and watching YouTube videos and figuring out what is gonna work best for our business. Now we are going to make our money, okay? We're going to implement all of these things that we've learned, and we are going to move forward, and we're going to make our money because we have done the footwork necessary to make that money. Like I said, we're not going to buy the machine and then figure it out later. We are going to implement all of these things in order and execute them accordingly. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen, you know, just because you bought the machine. I don't give away a whole lot of like personal stuff on here. I don't believe in manifesting. I think that's woo-woo crap, okay? So I'm not going to sit here and say that you're going to manifest your business just because you invested $15,000 into an embroidery machine. Not going to do it, okay? We're going to put in the freaking work, okay? We're going to get it done. We're going to put in the work. We're going to do the footwork. We're going to do the research, and we're going to execute accordingly to have a profitable business. We're not just going to plug in the machine and expect it to do all the work, okay? if you have done all of these steps, no, I can't guarantee you're gonna have a good business, but I can almost guarantee that you're on the right track to being a good, profitable business. So this is obviously not like a full encompassing like how to start a business. This is just 6 important bullet points that I have come up with for you to start your business, okay? There's obviously a whole lot of other things that go into it, your personal finances, you know, what website you choose or what host you go with. Those are all your personal choices. I can't walk you through every single one of them. Those are all gonna fall on you. You know, the whole research phase is gonna fall on you. This video would be 5 hours long if I were to sit here and go through every single type of stabilizer or every single type of website or every single type of business, every single type of customer. This video would be way too long, okay? So these are just 6 basic bullet points to get you started in your embroidery business journey. I hope you guys found this video informative. Leave me a comment down below and let me know, where are you at in starting your business? Have you bought a machine? You know, are you still in the researching phase of machines? Are you a couple of years into your business and struggling? Or are you, you know, super successful in your business? I want to hear all of your stories. So leave me a comment down below. Let me know where you're at. Let me know if you guys have any other questions, okay? And maybe we'll do like some business follow-up videos from this. Let me know where you're at. And if you have any other business advice, leave it down in the comments below, because like I said in point number 5, we are always learning around here. There is always going to be something that you can learn. And if that's something that like I've, you know, strive to teach even just my own children, is like, don't ever think that you don't have something to learn. Okay, we always have something to learn. There's always going to be people that has, you know, better advice or different advice, and we can all help each other out. We're all going for the same thing. So let's help each other out. Leave it in the comments below if you have any other suggestions or business advice, things like that. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.